Technology.
Welcome to the Spotlight Omaha podcast. Here is your host, Jimmy Allen.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome inside the Spotlight Omaha podcast, where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact on our community. We are brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Pixel Fire Marketing is a locally owned marketing firm that specializes in website design, creating social media ads, and engaging your business online. If your company could benefit from any of that, check out pixelfiremarketing.com today. Joining us inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio is Nate Decker with Plant'd Farma. Nate, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Hey,
Appreciate
for anybody that may not know what you guys do at Plant'd Farma, can you kind of explain what the business is and what you guys are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Plant'd Farma, we consider ourselves the largest high-end wellness boutique in Omaha, Nebraska, specializing in hemp-derived cannabis products, and anything from flower to edibles to drinks, and plan to be the largest infused mocktail bar as well.
I think it's an interesting case study when we talk about the growth of hemp and the way it's looked at a lot different than maybe in our parents' generation or even the generation before them. When we talk about putting THC products out on Main Street and putting it out in front and saying this is the business we are, is it still muddy waters to navigate that stuff, or it's so accepted in 24, 25 that it's easy to say this is who we are and this is who we want to be?
You know, I have a day-to-day conversation with most of my customers or new customers that are looking to get into the hemp-style products. I would say, yeah, I mean, it's definitely... There's things we still got to navigate in terms of regulations and laws, but in terms of marketing the product, there is a little bit of challenges with that as well.
Some red tape.
Yeah, absolutely. Just making sure people understand what the product is and how similar most of the products on the market are.
Well, there's no bones about it. There's health benefits to it, and I think that's something that was never really looked at, because any kind of thing that can be construed as a drug and overusage is deadly, right? But when we talk about the health benefits of what you guys are doing at Plant'd Farma, what does that look like?
So in terms of the health benefits, there's definitely a range of products that can help with certain ailments or, help. We don't like to say treat, but there's a lot of different products that can help people with various things. If you're having trouble with sleep, if you're having anxiety, depression, a lot of the products that we offer can help with that. We make recommendations, right? We don't make claims.
You're not a doctor.
Yeah. I mean, we do sell a plant-derived product that comes from the ground, and there's a lot of different cannabinoids that can help with the body in different ways and provide different benefits. So whenever a customer comes in and talks about certain things that they're experiencing and has told us that certain cannabis products have helped them in the past, and they ask for certain recommendations, we can kind of guide them through what type of product or what way of consumption they're used to, and recommend a specific milligram dosage towards, whether it's CBD or THCV. There's 123 different cannabinoids in the plant.
Can you walk us through what the difference is between THC and THV?
Yeah, so THCV has actually been shown to help with dietary suppression. So suppressing the appetite. There are some products that are including THCV, so they can still give you the buzz without the munchies, right?
Sure.
Then there's products that involve cannabinoids like CBD or CBDA, and those cannabinoids are going to be more focused on the immune system. And when we talk about hemp and cannabis, there's the endocannabinoid system, which is actually involved in all of our bodies.
Right.
It's kind of the precursor to our immune system. So if you're able to support that endocannabinoid system, in turn, you're able to help support your immune system. So CBD can help with inflammation, help with sleep, calming. It's very calming. CBDA is actually just a more potent variation and precursor to CBD. So what that really just means is CBDA, you can take less amount for it to work faster and, and better for you.
And less through the bloodstream, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The drink portion of it intrigues me for a lot of reasons. I think we've seen this explosion. Feels like bottled water hit the scene, and then there were energy drinks. Sobe happened, and then the world exploded, right?
Yeah.
Why is the drink aspect of it or consuming the liquid form of your products something that is starting to take off at such a high rate?
So I think the drinks started off in the cannabis industry. They've definitely gotten a lot better over time, and that's probably just due to different methods of manufacturing. With a lot of the drinks that we carry that involve THC, which is Delta 9 THC derived from hemp, right? So it's still legal.
Straight from the plant. Yeah.
It's being infused into the drink, usually via nano or via an emulsion, which really just means it's becoming more bioavailable to the body. When you're drinking it, it's going to be hitting your system a lot faster, a lot harder. So you don't need as much to have an effect. I also think the drinks in particular are becoming a good alternative to alcoholic beverages. We kind of specialize in microdosed beverages, which would be like 5 milligrams.
Okay.
So when someone comes in and they're maybe looking for a smaller edible or
it's different. I think a lot of people are probably curious what the difference. How quickly does it hit you versus an edible or maybe consuming it through smoking or whatever?
So
to drinking
with the drinks, I would say they're hitting you faster because they don't have to go through the digestive system, right? They're hitting the bloodstream a lot faster. They're using nano or emulsions to then provide more bioavailability.
Got it.
Which just means it's gonna hit you faster. So your typical gummy is gonna take you 20, 30 minutes or more to be able to start feeling the effects. With most of the drinks, we've seen them working within 10 to 15 minutes to start to feel the effects.
This is a fun product, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about the legalities and things. But to your point, obviously, it's something that you're having conversations about daily. We know there's so much money invested in study of alcohol and the dangers of alcohol and how much you can consume, et cetera, et cetera. But this is something as a society we've just really started talking about. We talk about hemp products. How much of your day-to-day business is focused on how much people consume? We just talked about timeframes and when it affects you versus overusage and things like that.
When every customer is different. So we like to specialize in knowledge and education first before we just jump in and recommend a product. So when someone comes in, we ask them, what types of products they're used to, what types of benefits from the product they're looking for, and then we can kind of, make recommendations based off of their needs, their specific needs. So if they're, used to having whiskey and Coke at the end of the night, every night, and they're looking for something like an alternative to that can still help them relax and kind of be their nightcap, we would recommend, something like a 5 or 10 milligram drink to be able to replace that.
This is just a standard Red Bull, by the way.
Red Bull is probably one of the next brands that's coming up. So,
sure. When we talk about readily availableness, I think vapes have kind of changed the way people look at smoking, the way it's done, and the places you can do it at. What are some of the benefits of vaping from a society outlook standpoint versus a typical smoke-induced cigarette or Black and Mild or something like that?
Yeah. E-cigs, I feel like made vaping very popular. Sure. I would say about within the last 10 years. I actually got it, went from Black and Milds to e-cigarettes, and my doctor told me, I kind of went to him within the first few months of vaping, and I was worried that, coughing up black shit. And he's like, oh, well, actually.
That's probably not good. Yeah.
He's like, well, you're technically, the vape is peeling off the loose tar on your lungs.
Oh,
he's
wow.
like, so I would recommend to just continue vaping, quit the Black and Milds. And he's like, once, the black shit will come out and you should be good to go. And he's like, obviously, you want to try to wean off
Still
the
a little
nicotine,
scary. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I think in general, vaping is definitely a better alternative to smoking. And that's probably more so my personal opinion. There are some studies out there. Yeah, I mean, it's going to affect everyone differently. When it comes to the cannabis style vapes, obviously it's concentrated oil, so it's just going to be straight THC.
Yeah.
A lot of the vapes on the market in the Omaha area or in the hemp industry are going to involve some amount of Delta 8 THC.
I want to ask about that because I'm looking at the website now, we're catching up with Nate Decker of Plant'd Farma here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio. We just talked about Red Bull a minute ago. Sweet Relief Gorilla, it's a THC energy shot. It's on your guys' website. It's one of your guys' best sellers. Why is that something you guys are pushing right now?
Yeah, so it's kind of like your alternative to a 5-hour energy drink.
Sure.
Has a lot of the similar ingredients to 5-hour with the addition of CBD or THC. So it's a shot. You can take it quick. It's very effective in terms of how fast it works. And then obviously with the THC version, you're getting that energy boost along with, the euphoric effects of the hemp-derived THC.
We kind of had this conversation before we went on air. This isn't my world. I don't dab in a lot. I'm very surprised to see this as one of the options on your guys' website. Alice's mushroom chocolates. Talk to us about that and exactly what are we looking at from this product?
Yeah, so we like to consider us a wellness boutique that specializes in hemp products. But alternative to hemp products, we offer a variety of different wellness products like the Alice mushroom chocolate bars. So, people come in, they see Alice mushroom chocolates and automatically think, oh, these are going to get me, psychedelic. And it's like, no,
not the case.
No, these are.
That's where my head went first too. So I'm glad I'm not alone thinking that.
That's okay because we do offer both, right?
Sure.
These are actually going to be more functional mushrooms, which are going to include like reishi, lion's mane, cordyceps.
Okay. Sure.
Alice puts together specific blends for specific benefits. So the ones that have been really popular are a specific blend of functional mushrooms that help with arousal. And then we also offer another blend that helps with deep sleep.
Okay.
So these will be
exact opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Hey, or you can take one before bed, and
there you go.
And
say
take one when you're about to go to bed.
Yeah, there you go. We talked about it a little bit ago. The mocktail portion of it, you guys are looking to add an alcohol bar to the repertoire. You guys are in downtown Omaha, obviously a heavily populated area with bars. Why adding the addition of mocktails, and why is that special to you?
Yeah, I think really the mocktail scene is definitely exploding.
Yeah.
For me in particular, I was supporting some of the mocktail bars around the area. There's a mocktail bar called Dry Spokes. I think they were on Leavenworth. I don't know if they're there anymore.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't want to misspeak. Hopefully they still are. But.
And I had a hard time kind of justifying paying the same price of a typical old fashioned that tasted like an old fashioned, but then no alcohol. But
right.
And then didn't really get any type of different feeling from the drink, which some people may or may not be looking for any type of effect, maybe just the similar taste, right? But
right.
I had a hard time justifying paying $13 when I could go to the bar and pay $13 for a real
and feel the effects, sure.
And feel the effects. So I think what will set us apart on our mocktail bar side will be the fact that it'll be infused. And we have a few different ways to infuse the drinks to provide an effect, right? You don't need to use.
So, and I just want to make sure we're being clear. We're talking about infused with not alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But with THC, right? There's a lot of hemp-derived THC spirits out there that are non-alcoholic. Some of them are trying to replicate the same taste profiles as like a gin or a vodka or a tequila.
Sure.
And then there's others that
I don't
just
know why anybody would want to replicate the taste
Right.
of gin, but
yeah.
neither here nor there. Hard pass on that.
You know, there's a lot of other brands that are just doing their own branded flavors and stuff, and we want to be able to provide a mocktail that still gives you somewhat of that relaxation effect. Still kind of focused on that microdose level. We don't want people drinking one drink and
Calling it
getting
a night,
so high that they can't get out of their seat. You know,
Right.
so you know, small buzzes per drink, but then we can also provide non-THC infused mocktails, which will involve kava. So kava
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you explain
is a root that does have a extract in it called kava lactones, and this extract does provide a very similar effect to alcohol in the sense of relaxation.
without the dangers?
Yeah, and without the hangover still.
Yeah.
So you can have a few kava drinks and feel good and notice the effects, and not have to worry about waking up the next morning feeling shitty.
I guess this is kind of and this is something we ask every single person, but I think it's a little more interesting from your side of things. What does the ideal client look like for you?
You know, our demographic, I feel like it ranges pretty,
That's why I'm so
pretty
interested
wide.
to hear this answer. Yeah.
I would say our main demographic is going to be 21 to 45, heavy on the female, actually,
Wow,
female
okay.
side. Yeah, we've seen an increase in the female demographic within those age ranges. You know, I think the drinks in particular are something that are really popular within that demographic. But overall, I mean, we have, you know, customers from 21 college age kid looking for a pre-roll to
Is 18 the age to come in and participate?
So technically, yeah, within the laws of the Farm Bill, 18 is kind of
Sure.
the regulation. It is up to each owner on whether or not they want to increase that age limit. For us, we just, since we're getting into the mocktail infused bar side,
21.
we wanted to just keep it pretty similar to what you would see in a recreational state.
Sure.
So almost setting the standard as well. So if there are,
Is that a big deal for you?
yeah, I mean,
I can't help but notice that. You talk about
Yeah.
being one of the best high end place in Omaha, and then you talk about setting the standard. Is being the guy that sets the bar kind of a big deal for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very important. When we're talking about the knowledge and the education, I think that is also within that setting of the standard. You know,
Where do you think that comes from for you personally?
For me, I think it comes from a line of doing different events that are focused on niche industries. Like I said, I went from black and milds to e-cigarettes. Ended up becoming a pretty big advocate for, you know, vaping and e-cigarettes compared to tobacco.
Probably running into some resistance along the way.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And ended up putting on Omaha's first vape expo.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
you know, had about 20, 30 vendors of local businesses and businesses around the metro come in for a one-day event. And customers were able to come in, pay their, you know, $10 ticket entry and kind of shop around. And while they were shopping, I had a few keynote speakers that were providing a lot of really good education on the benefits of vaping versus tobacco use. So I think that kind of started my, you know, I became very curious in terms of the education of these alternative products and how they affect your body and how they can be used alternatively to, you know, your kind of.
To set the standard.
Yeah, exactly.
We're catching up with Nate Decker of Plant'd Farma here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio. Let's stop all the legal jargon. Let's talk about the fun
Yeah.
stuff. You guys have some great
Yeah.
events coming up. You're in downtown Omaha. What has the response from downtown Omaha been like? Before we get to what you guys have coming up, what's the response from downtown Omaha been like since you guys opened a year ago?
Yeah.
And what does the surrounding area kind of do for Plant'd Farma?
Yeah, I think this is my first involvement in a brick and mortar retail business, and being able to pick the old market of all places, I think was a great move.
It feels like a perfect fit, if I'm being honest.
Yes, it is. It has been. We've had overwhelming support from not only just like the people visiting the old market from out of state, but within the service industry, within just the foot traffic walking downtown. People just kind of checking in, looking in the window. Oh, they didn't know this place was, they didn't know that this location was anything yet, right?
Sure.
So anytime I think you see a new business open up in the old market, it kind of draws eyes
intrigue,
and,
for sure,
brings people in. And we've had a lot of awesome support from a lot of the people around us and people visiting the downtown area.
You guys have a yoga event coming up. Can you talk about what Canna Yoga is and what people can expect out of it?
Yeah. So we've been the first, venue to be able to put on Canna Yoga in the state of Nebraska. So the exciting thing about that is it's giving those who are, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced level yogi,
Sure.
An experience kind of like none other. If you've never been able to light up a joint and kind of toke before you stretch, this is kind of the welcoming environment to be able to do that.
Why yoga?
So
Just because they go so hand in hand?
I mean, yoga does promote health and wellness.
Absolutely.
And a level of, there's a level of meditation involved in that, and spiritual awakening. I think yoga was something that we were looking at. We were just trying to find different types of events. We do have a large space. It's about 5,000 plus square feet. So
You guys have the stage in there and everything, right?
no, we did take that out.
Okay,
but the floor space alone,
That has a lot of floor space then,
Yeah,
yeah.
We have a lot of space to do certain events, and we've been able to put on some really cool events so far. We've done Canna Yoga for the past year, about every month or so. We try to keep it on a consistent basis. So, it's $25 or $35 if you want to partake in the Canna part. So
Sure.
that'll come with like.
So it's not even necessary to do so if you don't want to.
Yeah. It's not required. I will say if you do want to
Might make it a
participate,
little more fun. Yeah.
you'll probably end up getting a contact high anyways,
Yeah.
just from the amount of people that are partaking.
Sure.
But yeah, it'll come with like a pre-roll or a gummy or a drink. And you can kind of get that relaxation of the body going before you start getting into your stretches and some of the poses.
Will you be partaking?
Hey man, my first experience with yoga was when we did it inside the boutique. So
It's a lot harder than it looks.
it is definitely, and I will say the instructors are amazing. Any of the instructors we bring in are definitely aware of beginners or intermediate people coming in to experience yoga for their first time, maybe. So, for me, it was awesome to have the instructor. She would go into more of like maybe an intermediate or advanced level pose, and then
Show you how to
shortly
get there.
right after that would be like, and if you can't do that, do this.
Here's how you do
And-
girl push-ups in
Yeah.
yoga form.
And I'm like, oh fuck yeah, okay. I'm just gonna wait for the second one every time.
You can't help but hear the passion for this in your voice. Why is this?
Yeah.
Why are you so passionate about this?
Yeah, I think I've been an advocate for cannabis for a really long time. Not only on a recreational sense, but on a medical sense for sure.
Sure.
I noticed early on at a young age that I have extreme crazy ADHD and was diagnosed at like
Same,
7,
my brother.
right?
Yeah.
And taking like Ritalin and prescription drugs.
awful.
I could tell like towards high school, I was starting to like really notice some of the side effects.
Yeah.
And if you missed a day of taking the Adderall or the Ritalin, I ended up getting like a horrible stomach ache.
It's the same as hemp though. It's not always the same for everybody too.
Yeah,
And I think that's the problem with
Yeah,
standardized medicine.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I just noticed that cannabis was something that I could partake in if I didn't take my medicine and I partaked in cannabis, even just a little bit, not smoking a whole blunt right before going into school, but taking
Don't
a
do
couple.
that, kids.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I think more so the kind of like dabbling with cannabis made me realize there are medicinal benefits for someone like me, and that I feel like that awareness just became more and more as I grew older. So I realized, yes, getting high was fun with my friends, and
Can't do it forever though.
yeah, it's not sustainable. It does, kind of make you into a lazy sloth if you abuse it, right?
A lot of things can though.
Yeah. So
Try eating Burger King every day. I promise you probably have the same result.
It's not. Yeah. I mean, I know that dude did the 30 days of McDonald's, but that was not realistic, right?
Yeah.
So I think growing up and then being able to,
I feel like you'd have to probably smoke a blunt every day to do 30 days of McDonald's. By the way,
you would need to become more excited for that for sure.
Hey, 76 5-star reviews on Google for your guys' boutique down in the old market. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, those are important because those are all organic.
Yeah,
usually
are.
That's not us hitting up our friends and family and just saying, hey, leave us a review. That's real customers coming in, experiencing the boutique in all of its glory, and being able to talk to someone who's very educated and knowledgeable about the products to make that best recommendation. And then obviously them being able to see that work for them. So those are important. I think being able to look back and see a lot of these reviews just is a testament to how important we believe that this product can help people, and also the knowledge and recommendations that we give.
We obviously like to focus on Omaha in this room, but you guys are a stone's throw away from Council Bluffs. How much has the Council Bluffs market kind of influxed its way into downtown Omaha, and if at all?
Yeah, recently actually it's had a huge influx. I would say
because there were some laws that changed across the river, correct?
Yeah, just recently, within the last 3 to 6 months, they have banned any type of smokable variation of hemp products. So we're like the closest location across the bridge. So we've seen a pretty good amount of people coming over from Iowa.
This seems like a pretty layup question.
Yeah.
Giant benefit for you guys, right?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in all reality, there's a lot of people that I'm outside hustling and promoting.
Have to. Yeah.
With that, I end up talking to a lot of people that are like, oh, we go down to Kansas City or Rockport. It's an hour away and it's recreational. And
we don't sell fireworks, but we can help you out across the river. Yeah.
And I've been able to convert a lot of those people into at least just giving us a try when it comes to the flower.
Yeah.
And they've had, a lot of good things to say.
I like that. I've never heard it referred to as that. Hey, we're tending to hit that spot where we shut her down for the day. Is there anything we haven't mentioned about Plant'd Farma people should know about you?
Yeah, I think if you're curious about, any type of hemp-derived THC products, and you want to get more educated on what the benefits are, I would say we are definitely the go-to place in Omaha and the surrounding area to be able to get that education, and we definitely are becoming very well known for our flower.
Jerry in South Dakota wants to know, is there shipping available on the website?
Yeah, we can definitely ship out.
Okay. I will grab the website, and I meant to have it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It is just plantedfarma.com, but I will grab it, throw it up on the screen, Jerry, for you now so you can get a hold of Nate and the team, and he can help you guys out with that. That is it, scrolling across the bottom of your screen now. Again, over 76 5-star reviews. You guys are located in downtown Omaha, right off 13th and Farna? Harney.
So, yeah, 1207 Harney Street.
Yeah, stop by. Ask all the questions you can. Nate and his team, they'd be more than happy to inform you on all their products and the benefits and the health benefits of them. Buddy, I really appreciate you doing this on such short notice. Thanks for coming in
Thanks,
today.
Jimmy. Appreciate it.
This has been the Spotlight Omaha podcast. We just had our guest cancel on us for tomorrow. We may have a guest for you anyway. We'll work on that in the next 24 hours. Hopefully you can come join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.